Welcome to That Weekend Feeling with Daron Mann. That Weekend Feeling, it's brought to you by the Weekend Post and the Daily Dispatch Weekend Edition.
Each one of us has a story to tell and a story to share. A story that deserves to be heard. A story that inspires, motivates, and gives people a reason to keep going. A story about our triumphs as individuals and as a team. A story about our humble beginnings and what the future holds for us. A story about our heritage and that which brings us together. It is these stories that connect us. The Herald. Whatever you live for, we live to tell that story for you.
The Miss South African competition organisers this year adopted a new approach of announcing a winner and two runners-up rather than a first and second princess as they had done in previous years. Organisers said this was to give them time to decide which young lady would be best suited to represent our country in the Miss World and Miss Supranational competitions. The Queen, Lalela Mswane, already earmarked for Miss Universe. Great excitement for the Eastern Cape. One of the runners-up coming from our region, the King Williamstown area, Zimi Mabunzi. She joins us now on That Weekend Feeling. Zimi, congratulations. How are you doing?
Hi, Daron. Thank you so much. I'm doing great. Thank you. How are you?
We're very, very proud of you. Tell us about this process. Go right back to the start. We want to know what inspired you or who inspired you to get into the competition in the first place.
Sure. What a long story. So this actually wasn't my first pageant. My first pageant was Miss Eastern Cape. And I think I'd entered that competition not necessarily because I was a pageant girl or anything, was a model. I don't have model experience, if anything. But I just entered it really because I wanted to just live a life of impact. I wanted to make a difference in my community. And I thought, what better platform than something that is actually designed for charity work and giving back and so on. So that was my first competition. I didn't enter because I thought I'd win, but because I really wanted to make use of the platform. And after winning, I really saw something different in myself. I was like, well, it looks like I actually can do this. It looks like this is something I can do. I mean, I wouldn't win if there was nothing there. So after that, I started dreaming about Miss South Africa, and I thought, you know, if I could do it provincially, what if I could possibly do it even nationally? And I started just planning and preparing for that. And yeah, then here I am.
Here you are. For would-be and aspirant models, or those who'd like to follow the trail that you've blazed, give us a little insight into the process that's followed. How do you enter? Do you just fill in an entry form and send in a few photographs, or is it a bit more involved than that?
So the process after that, it's really not as gruesome as maybe most would think. It's just pretty much, yes, you fill in a form, you apply online nowadays, and you wait for the organization to get back to you. And then once they get back to you, there's a whole a packed lineup of things that you will get to do, and you will get the privilege really to be part of things like coaching. Not even necessarily like runway coaching or anything at the beginning, but like coaching from groups of people that are there to empower you throughout the process. And there's so much growth that takes place throughout that process. So they really try to make sure that they really prioritize the growth, the inner growth, more than anything, because I mean that translates to the outer growth as well. If you're confident from the inside, then it will show probably, you know, on the ramp as well. So they prioritize mostly inner growth nowadays than the outer growth, because if the inner growth is set and if that's on par, then, you know, the outer growth is definitely going to follow.
Tell us a bit about the actual night. How big a factor are nerves, or are you not a nervous person?
I definitely am a nervous person. I could never lie. But I think there's so much that happens, though, before that actual night. We don't just jump to the night and then, you know, all of a sudden appear on TV. There's so much preparation that takes place before them. There's so many rehearsals that takes place before that. So many interviews with the judges as well beforehand. that also take place. And so by the time you actually hit the stage, you're really confident and you're really just focused on having fun, and having and just being present in this amazing moment that really comes once, that will only ever happen once in that way anyway. So by the time it happens, you are so prepared by the organization.
What sort of reaction have you had from family and friends since you've returned to the Eastern Cape, Zimi?
Sure, it's been unbelievable, Daron. It's really been unbelievable. I've been telling them actually that it hasn't really sunk in for me, that I made it this far. And, I went to such a platform. I represented my province and people and my family on such a platform and actually did so well. So I actually even haven't watched the pageant at all yet, because I've just been trying to let it sink into my head and really just believe that this journey has come to this point. But they certainly believe it. They really, really believe it. They're really excited. I was joking just now to a friend, and I was like, my family is actually the Miss SA runner at this point. They're the ones that are that feel, the actual moment and for what it is. I'm still trying to figure out what happened, what. So yeah, the reaction has been unbelievable. People are extremely proud, and that really it really warms my heart to know that I've done my home this proud, and that's really all that I could ever ask for.
Zimi, I would imagine that your diary is beginning to fill up rather quickly. Give us an idea of what the future holds over the course of the next few months, now that you are a Miss SA runner-up.
Sure. The next few months, I maybe can't speak to the next few months as yet. So far, I know perhaps of the next week. We're still going to sit, I think probably on Monday, we're sitting down with the organization and discussing that. There's so much shame that they've been dealing with on their end. A lot of PR, a lot of work. And as you can imagine, our beautiful Miss South Africa, Lalela, is currently preparing for Miss Universe, which is in about 4.5 weeks away from now.
Yeah.
So it's really a crazy storm, at the organization right now. So we really just set a time and date to sit down and really speak about those things. But right now, I think this first week, they knew that it would be crazy. And so we're focusing on the bookings that are right now, things like interviews, media, and so on. So the next few months, I'll definitely know very soon, probably in the next coming week.
Final question for you. Tell us a bit about the prizes that come along with being a runner-up in Miss South Africa.
So we're really fortunate enough to continue working with the sponsors that we were working with as finalists. I think that many would know that, before, a lot of prizes would be focused on the Miss South Africa, just the Miss South Africa. But the organization has changed that now to make sure that all sponsors pretty much stay with the top 3 of the organization. So we continue working with the sponsors that we were working with as finalists.
And the charities that will be benefiting from your hard work?
That's still in the works. So I think maybe in the next coming weeks that will be revealed. That's still in the works. It's still very early days. I think it's only day 3 of my reign, and there's still so much more that needs to be consolidated between my campaign and my advocacy as well as the organization, just to make sure that everything is set. So everyone will know what forms part or what charities form part of my advocacy very soon.
Well, if there's anything at all that we can help you with when it comes to your benefiting charities, let us know.
Thank you so much.
Zimi Mabunzi, she is a runner-up at the Miss South Africa pageant for 2021. It's a pleasure. Good luck for your reign.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Enter the Daily Dispatch Winner Car competition, and you could drive away in the new 7-seater Suzuki Ertiga 1.5 GA. The competition closes on the 21st of November 2021, and an entry form is printed in the Daily Dispatch every day. The more you enter, the luckier you get. Get your copy of the Daily Dispatch and enter now. Win a car, proudly brought to you by Daily Dispatch and Ronnie's Motors.
That was That Weekend Feeling with Daron Mann.